So as I take a walk today, this is a video to explain to the entire world, or anyone out there pretty much, that struggles with dextromethorphan abuse, because I've been struggling with dextromethorphan abuse for 2 years, and it has not gotten better at all. I've had spurts where I've been clean for about a couple weeks, and then times where I'd be clean for a few months. It's all the same shit. Like, I've been tripping so fucking hard and taking this shit so much, and more than I should. My body's literally at the breaking point where it's like, it's either liver failure or kidney failure. Fucking fry your brain, pretty much. DXM addiction is probably one of the strongest addictions I've ever encountered in my life. Just that sense of wanting that pure bliss, euphoria, that disassociative state that you have when under the influence of DXM. It's pretty blissful. I believe that's the reason why we all use it, is because it's a dissociative. We have a problem in our mind that we don't like, or we have this underlying issue that we don't like, so we literally need to dissociate ourselves from that feeling to make sure everything's alright. And pretty much that's how we medicate. That's how the addiction starts. My addiction started a couple of years ago when I was just experimenting. I could get into many other stories, but probably won't get into all of them right now. So, for anyone out there that can see this, just letting you know, if you're thinking of trying dextromethorphan, do not touch it. It's an NMDA receptor antagonist. It's a very potent drug. It's very misunderstood. It's a drug that pretty much is the most insidious drug I think I've ever done in my life. It sucks to say, but you know, with tolerance and all that you can only go so far. And literally with me, it's gotten to the point where I've had off and on bouts with it for so long now. And in these 2 years, literally, I've had so many problems, so many issues happen to me. And it's all because I made that wrong choice to go and use DXM. But I've been very badly wanting to go to treatment. It all started when I was about 17 years old, and I was really interested in psychedelics and expanding the mind, and I was very open to all of that. And when I heard about DXM, I actually heard about it through someone who was a little bit older than me, who said that he would consistently get sick after drinking too much grape Delsum. And me at the time, I didn't know what Delsum was, but time passed, and eventually I researched it, educated myself on what it was. Pretty much found out that it's a very strong drug that's on the shelves of pretty much any store around here. CVS, Stop and Shop, anywhere. Walgreens, anywhere. I started doing triple C's when I was 18. The first form of DXM I started taking was Delsum, and that lasted for a while until I lost the magic on that one. When I was in rehab, my friend introduced me to C's. Took my first 8 C's and loved it though. Next time I took 16, like, sooner than you know, you're taking like 32 of those things, dude. And it can become lethal, you know? It's just not good. Sometimes you can have very dark trips on those things. Nonetheless, I've had some very disturbing experiences. Here we are again. I'm at my old high school that I just graduated from, 2014. It's not Chatham High School anymore. It's Monomoy Regional High School, which was the new high school built in Harwich. They regionalized two towns, and pretty much this whole other building, which you can see, well, can't right now. We're actually walking onto the dugout fields. But I've had many memories here. I figured I'd come here because I had a lot of good memories, and I'm sure they'll never die. And most of my intense DXM trips the majority were on this field. DXM is not something you want to fuck with. I need to go to rehab for it because it's gotten to the point in my life where it's going to kill me if I do it any longer. If I continue this road, I will end up doing damage to my body. Hopefully not permanent damage. Hopefully anything I can change. But lots of trips here, lots of times here. Smoking weed, drinking alcohol with DXM. I've had a lot of good times, you know. I've had a lot of very good times, but I've also had a fair share of very bad times. And those bad times kind of outweigh the good times that you do have on this drug. It's a very good feeling that you get. It's not worth it. Ooh, this is getting overgrown. Haven't been here in a while. This, my friends, is the dugout. Chatham High School. This is where me and a lot of my friends got fucked up. It's no longer Chatham High School. Pretty nice out here. But yeah, just in general, DXM is just a different drug from any single drug out there. Like, it's just completely different. Like, yeah, it's in the same class as ketamine and PCP, but it's not the exact same. It's very different from those even. It brings you to that state of mind where it's just such euphoria, such bliss. And music, like I used to love music on DXM. Used to love everything about it. It just got to the point where I was just constantly wanting to numb out my feelings and like wanting to do C's like all the time. After I graduated high school, I was on a good roll, stopped using it, and pretty much just smoked weed and drank alcohol. That lasted for 3 months. I was doing good, and I slipped up, relapsed. I picked it right back up, or where it left off. It just never gets any better on the road of addiction. Right, I'm walking back from my adventure, coming back from high school dugouts, walking on the bike path. It's a good place to be. It's a very natural place. And that's why I like Cape Cod in general. I love Cape Cod. I love Chatham, but there's so many downsides to it. A lot of good sides, a lot of downsides. A lot of the tourists just don't know the underlying problems that are really stuck on this island. We as locals who have lived here long enough to understand what problems are going on in our community. It's not going to get any better at all if we don't do anything about it. And in the right mental state, and if you are determined to never touch it again, and don't touch it again, I make a vow today, right now, that I will never touch DXM again. It's been a long, tough 2 years. I'm sure as hell convinced that it changed me. Try and be the same, but things will never be the same after DXM. It's just hard to say. Alright, so walking home. Glad we got this on documentary. Gonna make it public. I remain anonymous. No location, but I am anonymous, so it is a problem in our communities. It is a problem in other countries as well. Europe, Asia, all those countries have problems with it too. I think it's because it's so readily available that sometimes in our society you'll never see people who actually go and get fucked up on it. You just never can really tell unless you've been there and you're doing it yourself, you know. So